Hello students. Welcome back in the second video of structure of alimentary tract and the accessory organ of digestion. In this class we are going to discuss about the remaining part of the alimentary canal, which include your stomach, small intestine, large intestine and the accessory organ of it. That means your liver, gallbladder and the pancreas. In previous class we discussed about your oral cavity, which include your tongue, your teeth, salivary gland and the saliva. Apart from it, we discussed about pharynx and the esophagus. I hope you know about it. If you don't know, then go back to the video and got it. So in this class we are going to discuss about stomach, wall of the stomach, function of the gastric juice. Gastric juice is the secretion of the stomach, and the small intestine, function of small intestine is secretions, large intestine, function of large intestine and its secretions, and the last we are going to discuss about the accessory organ, which include liver, gallbladder and the pancreas. So let's discuss about the other part of alimentary canal, which is known as your stomach. The stomach is a J-shaped dilated portion of the alimentary canal, and it receives food from the esophagus and temporarily stored. So food is, we got the food in the oral cavity, then come to the pharynx, then esophagus and then to the stomach. So there is two process happen in the stomach. One is chemical digestion, one is mechanical digestion. What is the chemical digestion? Pepsin break down of your polypeptides, primarily work on your protein. Then come to the mechanical digestion. The three smooth muscular layer are added and the containing are the liquefied. So what is it? In other part of the alimentary canal we have the two muscular layers. One is longitudinal and one is circular, but in the stomach we have other structure of smooth muscles, which is oblique muscular layers, which help in the mechanical digestion of food in the stomach, which is known as the churning. When we discuss stomach in detail. This is the introductory part. Then come to the limited absorption, the production and secretion of intrinsic factor needed for the absorption of vitamin B12. In the part of the stomach we have to discuss the two surfaces, two borders, two end fundus in the bodies, and the last is peritoneum and atrium. What are the two surfaces? Anterior and posterior surface of the stomach. What are the two border? Upper border called the lesser curvature and the lower border called the greater curvature. Then come to the two end. Upper end called the cardiac end, and it is guarded by a cardiac sphincter, and the lower end is called the pyloric end. It is guarded by the pyloric sphincter. And the fundus is the dome-shaped upper part of the lying to the left of the cardiac end. So what is body is the main part of the stomach. The pyloric and atrium is the lower part of the stomach. So the pyloric sphincter is the site where the small intestine attached to your stomach. And then come to the wall of the stomach. The contain of the forecoat, as we discussed about the structure of alimentary canal. Serosa, muscular coat. Muscular coat is, we have three layers we discussed in the previous slides: longitudinal, circular and oblique fibers, and the submucosa layer made up of areolar tissues, and the last mucosa coat made up of the mucosa membrane. This is the innermost part of your stomach. Then come to the secretion of the stomach. The mucous membrane of the stomach contain gland which secrete the gastric juice. What they contain? About 2 liters of the gastric juice are secreted daily by the specialized secretory gland in the mucosa. Gastric juice contain water, mineral salt, HCl and the pepsinosyl. So here is the site where the C-shaped duodenum is attached to your stomach. Here is the side where the esophagus attached to your stomach. Then come to the stomach. Small intestine. As you see in the small intestine, we had three parts: duodenum, jejunum and the ileum. The C-shaped part is duodenum, and the other blue part is your jejunum, and the last green part is your ileum. So small intestine is contained continuous with the stomach at the pyloric sphincter. So pyloric sphincter is the last part of small intestine where the duodenum is attached, and the 2.5 centimeter in diameter and 5 meter, approximate 5 to 6 meter long, and lead into the large intestine at the ileocecal valve. So ileocecal valve is a junction where the small intestine and the large intestine attach to each other. So in the small intestine, the chemical digestion of the food is completed and the absorption of the most nutrients are take place. So digestion and the absorption is primarily happen in your small intestine. So the small intestine comprises the three continuous part we discussed earlier. These are the duodenum, jejunum, and the ileum. So food can be digested by a combination of the two methods, mechanical digestion and the chemical digestion. So in the mechanical digestion, food physically break down into a smaller fragment by chewing in the mouth and churning in the stomach. And the chemical digestion is the breakdown of the complex structure of the food into the smaller structure and the digestible form of the food particles. This is called the chemical digestion. Then come to the large intestine, is about the 5 feet in the long, or we can say the 1 meter, 1 to 2 meter, except what small intestine does not absorb. We discussed it. The digestion and absorption is taking place in the small intestine, and the remaining food is passed from small intestine to the large intestine where the ileocecal sphincters. So except what the small intestine don't absorb of water and the concentrate waste. So it is convert the liquefied food into the semi-solid material, and that does not participate in digestion of the food. Primarily there is no digestive enzyme, it only absorb the what the small intestine don't absorb. And the rectum is the short-term storage where the hold feces before it expelled. And the last we have to discuss about the accessory organ. What are these? An accessory organ also include your teeth, tongue. We also discussed in previous slides, and now we have to discuss our liver, gallbladder, and the pancreas. And the accessory organ, not path of the food, but play a crucial role. Include liver, gallbladder, and the pancreas. These organs are not part of the pathway of the food, but they play a critical role in the digestion of the food. What are these organs? Liver, gallbladder, and the pancreas. Liver directly affect the digestion via producing bile. Bile help the digestion of fat. Primarily, this bile help to emulsify your fat. So filter out toxin and the waste, including drug and alcohol. And the gallbladder store bile from liver and release into the small intestine, and the fatty diets can change the gallstones. And the last, the pancreas. Pancreas produce the strongest digestive enzyme to digest the fat, carbohydrate, and the protein. So here is the one thing you have to note about the pancreas: secrete the enzyme to digest all elements of the food, fat, carbohydrate, or the protein. So secrete bicarbonate into small intestine to neutralize the stomach acid and regulate blood sugar by producing insulin. So this is the function of your endocrine part of pancreas. So pancreas is the only gland which secrete your hormone and the enzyme. So secretion of enzyme is called exocrine function, and secretion of hormone is called endocrine function. So this is all we need to know about it, and we discuss other part in detail in the next slides. Thank you so much guys. Catch up soon.